Welcome to Market Like a Hot Shot, episode 32. Jeff the Socialist here. James Feudo, what up?
You know, our next episode, it's funny, we're already at 32. Our next episode, 33, is going to be the live Market
event?
Like a Hot Shot Part 2 downstairs. So we'll be doing that in front of a live audience. But I was thinking about how that's actually going to be episode 33. Larry Bird.
Larry Bird, who is a Boston legend.
He is.
I've
seen him play many, many, many times.
So the youngins think Jason Tatum's the legend. But Jason Tatum's going to win a couple more championships. Yeah. And we'll put him at the status of Larry Bird. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's just you can't that team with Bird, Johnson, McHale.
That was it. Yeah.
You know, like Danny Ainge.
How about Kevin McHale?
Kevin McHale, Danny Ainge. Who am I missing? Who's the other
chief
forward?
Robert Parrish?
Bob, yeah. I always call him Bob.
Bob Parrish. We call him,
he was like 7 feet tall. He is tall.
He'll crush you.
Chief, I forgot.
The Chief, man.
He was great. I loved, I used to love going to Celtics games back in the 80s when they were popular. But, yeah, I mean, I can't believe it. We're only, 18 episodes away from being able to have guests.
So yeah, you guests out there, if you want to be a guest on Market Like a Hot Shot, start listening to episodes, give us some feedback. The more you get feedback for us, those are the ones we'll consider to be on our show, starting on episode 50.
I know. I'm excited. I can't
50,
believe it.
That's like 12 weeks or something like that. No, 17 weeks.
Yeah.
I need to do my math. I was good at math at one time back in the day.
Me too. Now it's like we just use the calculators on our phones, so we don't have to.
Oh, you say Gemini or Alexa, do this. But anyways, this week, go to Market Like a Hot Shot.
Yeah, what a
GTM,
relevant...
man. GTM. Go to Market Like a Hot Shot. Why some launches hit and some fail.
Yeah, what a relevant topic this week, too, because I know you had suggested it earlier in the week, and then last night we were at Venture Cafe.
And how many founders did you meet last night?
I know. A lot of founders were there. It's cool, though. Yeah. And but what was kind of interesting is when you and I arrived there, we popped in on a session. It was a little round table.
Entrepreneur round table. A bunch of founders.
Yeah, about founders. And one of the topics that they were talking about last night was go to market.
Go to market, man.
Way to do it.
It's we want to talk about it. Why you think some companies launch and some get immediate traction?
Yeah.
Well, others kind of drift away. It's kind of like a sailboat in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, right, on a summer's day, which it's not here in Massachusetts.
Right.
It's about as winter as it gets here.
Yeah, definitely. After 2 days of being in the 50s, and now we're down to
now it's back to wearing
weather.
sweaters again.
Yeah.
So most teams confuse having a product with having go to market.
So true.
It's great examples of that. What's a good example? You've seen a great product, but man, it failed hard because the GTM strategy was not that good.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of them through history. Like Betamax was a better format than VHS, but they didn't, launch it the most optimal way. I'm going to be thinking of formats because it's the same thing with Blu-ray and DVD high definition or whatever that was.
Yeah.
Like a lot of these formats, it's just like they had the right people adopting them, even though one compressed better or one gave you a better quality picture.
No.
It's just, it really had to do with the marketing.
Yeah. I mean, they thought the product would do it for them. That's it. I have this great product, and it's just going to sell itself. So that's some of the things we're going to talk about today. Your product doesn't really create the momentum. You go to market strategy is what really creates the momentum for you
really does.
Have a successful product, right? Product launch.
Yeah.
So, all right, so we really bring this up, the guy with the Lego things last night.
I didn't actually even see much of his stuff last night.
But he'll present this construction, great product, don't get me wrong. But to present it to like a life sciences student, what do you think? That's an example, great product. But we're going to talk about that target market. Yeah, market. But what's the reality? Probably this person thought, once people see this, they'll get it.
Right.
But, do you ask the right questions and all that? So
yeah, we call that founder's logic, not buyer logic. That happens a lot of times where they think and I use the example of the pane of glass. Like, you're looking out from your store instead of looking in from your customer's perspective. And I think that's why a lot of go-to-market strategies don't work.
Yeah, buyers, they're busy. They're distracted. They see a lot. You think about ads on social media, TV commercials back in the day. You just get pummeled. Now we're getting texts. How many texts did I get today? Yeah, you get texts from somebody trying to sell you something. They get very distracted quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they get loyal to the devil that they know.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's so true. And I mean, like, if you're not telling them and showing them, more importantly,
Not even
really
telling.
clearly,
It's more asking.
you've got to be clear with your messaging with them. You got to let them see and understand why the old way is broken in order for them to change. Otherwise, they're not going to go with a new way of doing things.
Yeah, I mean, people, they don't buy something because it's new. That's why I don't like Apple people, because every time a new iPhone comes out, they got to get it. They probably don't even know if the features are even worth it, but just because it's not, it's because it's new, it doesn't mean it's better.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true.
And then, really, if you can't explain, and we talk about this a lot, I think branding, if you can't explain the pain, you can't sell them the solution.
It's true.
We're saying a lot of those terms today here.
We got a lot of good sound bites.
A lot of good sound bites. We'll have to put this as
it all sounds really cool.
It's like the TikTok videos is in effect here. That's where our goal today for the audience and learn about go-to-market strategies is learn about ask the right questions, ask your customer, kind of plug them for the pain, and then you offer that solution. What's some of the examples that we have that you have a great solution, maybe it didn't sell because you didn't frame the pain?
Right. That's a common thing that happens with us. We just recently launched a website audit and health check.
Good stuff.
The reason we did that, and the reason people are checking it out, is not because it just simply exists, right? They're seeing it because when we talk to them and, they're like, well, my website's not converting. It's not doing this. It's not doing that. It's like, well, we have this tool. You just go in, enter your information, and it's going to give you this detailed report that's going to show you exactly what's wrong with it.
Yeah.
And that's how we framed it, not like, oh, we've got this cool report that does a performance test and this test and that test. That doesn't mean anything
Doesn't mean anything to the buyer.
But when they hear that, it's going to show you why you're not converting. It's going to show you why people are bouncing your website. You know? And I mean, like, you've experienced this too, even with the mass professional networking, right?
Yeah, my networking group. People didn't show up for the heck of a networking event.
Right.
I get this a lot. They hear that we're a lot more personal. Relationship building is important. It's all about the second level connection, not a transaction at an event.
Right.
Yeah, I think some folks have started to follow my lead. They always ask you have a business card. I don't carry business cards because you know what that is? It's like a transaction.
Right.
Let's connect on LinkedIn. It's a little more electronic, and get to know each other a little bit.
Right.
Maybe I have some pain that you can solve, or you have some pain that I can solve. You have pain that I can solve.
So how about like focus? Because I feel like that's where things tend to fall apart.
Yeah, they do. Mid-market and enterprise is not focused. Like if you just developed a product, I love it when people, I got to think big, right? Enterprise, you got to take it in steps. Because the fear is, because a lot of times people think it's fear disguised as strategy, that they have to like think, it's all right to think big.
Right.
Yeah. And then hotshot teams if you're a hotshot, like a market like a hotshot, you pick
If you're watching this or listening to us, you're a hotshot.
You're a hotshot. You pick a specific buyer with a specific pain. So in the recruiting business, our specific buyers really mid-market companies, because startups, they usually can't afford agencies normally. I'm not to pick on startups, but you're still trying to get money, seed money and all that. Enterprises have their own teams, so we understand our buyer.
Yeah,
our buyer is really, they don't quite have an HR department or a talent acquisition team, but they also need people bad. So it's like we're their marketing arm as well as their talent arm to build their team. We got to talk about that sometime. That's another topic about how hiring the right talent and all that. We did hire like a Hotshot. Didn't we do that one time?
We did do hire.
I have
like
to
a
look for that
Hotshot,
one.
But
but that's just an example of understand who your specific buyer is and understand where they are. Where are they? Are they at an events you go to? Are they certain groups on social media, right?
Right, and I think the key there is, Hotshot teams themselves. It's like we know that it's okay to not be for everybody.
Yep. Anyone, who's your target market?
Everyone.
Anyone that needs this, really.
I mean, there are like you're a grocery store, but even your target market is usually within a geographic radius. But there's some people that can maybe argue that they're close to being for everybody.
Yeah.
But even those people, we recommend that you kind of niche down a little bit and pick something, like pick an area. I was talking to a good friend of ours last night who's a financial advisor. And,
is that Bezos?
Yeah, shout out to Gary.
Shout out to Bezos.
Gary will hopefully get on camera in the live episodes, so the Hotshots that are not able to attend can see him and our other friends, Victor, Chuck, all of our buddies that we saw last night.
Oh wait, one more. We have a big shout out.
Oh yeah, we got a shout out we got to do.
Nate Terran, my buddy from Worcester.
Yeah, Nate.
Nate, you have to listen. I want to comment after this after you hear that. But Nate Terran, good friend of mine, big time entrepreneur. He has companies. He helps startups with insurance, everything from cyber insurance to business insurance, so you don't get sued. Very important thing.
Very important stuff.
Especially for you product folks that are just coming out with a product and, I don't know, somebody cuts their finger and they sue you. You don't want that, right?
Right. And I mean, to use that, it's kind of funny because we could use him as an example too, that he could technically have a very, very, very broad scope of who he can, who his target market could potentially be. But when you niche it down like he does, he looks for very particular people. I think that's a lot more helpful. So
so we have the what's the 3 Fs? Have you heard of the 3 Fs?
Yeah.
And this is really, if you think about picking a real target, that's kind of the topic we're talking about when it comes to GTM, right? 3 Fs.
So the 3 Fs, and my last name, no swears, and my last name is not one of them either.
Yeah.
Let's start with fit, because Mr. Health and Wellness. Tell us about fit.
Yeah, who actually needs this right now, right? If you're on the talk of health and wellness, I need to lose weight. I need to get stronger. I'm tired all the time. Right? Those are needs right there.
Yeah.
I have a product for you. AIMCHealthSolutions.com. But anyways, that's where you have, if they mention this, that's why, again, listen like a hotshot, 2 ears, 1 mouth. If they say something like that they need X, you have a solution. That's your target buyer right there. What's the friction?
Yeah, it's, who has the pain that's bad enough that they need to take action.
Yeah.
That's a friction.
And these are things, as we kind of go through today's episode, that if you're a founder, if you're brand new, you just started, you're about to do a product launch, think about these things first. Picking a real target. That's before you even go out there and hire your operational team, sales team, etc., marketing. You need to know that, right? How about fast wins?
So this is an interesting one, and I think it's probably the one that a lot of founders get excited about because, you're trying to, you want to learn and, believe it or not, fail quickly.
Yep.
Because you want to know if something's not going to work. You don't want to wait until you're further along the process. You want to fail fast, fail early is one of the agile things that we talk about. But getting those fast wins, because you start getting proof to see that your idea, your concept, your product, your service is actually working there. And it also creates momentum for you too.
It does. It really, it's nothing like momentum. Momentum is key, right? Focus creates clarity. Clarity creates momentum.
That's so true.
Write that down. Write that. Print that, right? Pick one vertical, not 5. That's a big one. Always start there. Because it goes back to our first statement about don't think enterprise yet. Think about, It's a stepping stone to that enterprise level at some point, right?
Yeah.
Pick one persona. Not small businesses. I help. This is all right. You're a website guy, right? Website business.
I love this.
I help small businesses with their website. Okay.
Well, given that, I was at some event and somebody pointed out, which a lot of us don't realize, but according to the Department of Commerce, a small business is a business with 500 or fewer employees. So I know a lot of times when we think of small business, we think
like
of
5.
you think of like solopreneurs, company, maybe agencies that are like my size or whatever. But really, like you can go to some of these banks, some of these businesses that have their own buildings, and they're still considered small because they have like 200-300.
Yeah.
I
was at that's mid tier. Wow, that's good to know.
But it's funny, like I never thought about it that way. But that's something where you try and niche it down a little bit more too. So if you're a service provider, instead of just saying small businesses, you can break it down and say maybe 1 to 5 million in revenue, or in this industry, like that's one of the things you can do with
Broadreach is, I think our target's like 10 to 50 million in revenue. So revenue. You should know that that's your target market for your business or service.
It's almost kind of like when you're dating, right? Like you go there and it's like you want someone of this gender that's between these ages that is obviously single.
That's important.
That's like the important piece of it.
You don't want anyone beating you up.
Right.
Big boyfriend beats you up.
But we always talk about like networking and sales, or sometimes like dating, and it's. With Valentine's Day coming up in a couple of weeks, it's a good analogy to start using.
Shout out to my wife, Heather.
Yeah.
31 years I've known her. This Valentine's Day. We met on Valentine's Day, 1995.
That's so cool.
It's wild.
Very nice.
Wild. I have to get a gift, though. Oh, no.
Yeah, don't forget. So.
Yeah. So how about, all right, so we're kind of going in, we talked about fit and picking a real target. Now.
Well, for another example, like for creators, what would you recommend?
For
like
picking a fit?
Like finding a good fit for them,
all right, so what are you creating? Depends, right? And then why are you doing it? So what, why, how are you doing it? Oh, I just hit this thing. Sorry.
We hear the
boom, boom. Sorry for the thunderstorm there.
Yeah.
But just understand who you're building your product for. It's really, and then where are those people? Where are they? So it's like, what are you doing? How are you doing it? Why are you doing it?
And it's like, too, like you want to really focus on one problem.
Yeah, exactly.
And not necessarily like a whole category.
Yeah,
and that's where I think a lot of people make those mistakes.
A lot of stuff here, man.
There's a lot of information.
Yet?
So let's talk about speed over polish, right?
Driving like a maniac on Route 9, man.
Oh my goodness.
Speed over polish. Another mistake. People wait for everything to be perfect. I'm going to launch it. That's why you hear all these launches that it got delayed. It got delayed. It got delayed. If you keep delaying, guess what? You're going to be 70 years old.
Yeah. It's funny because my last few years in corporate, where we did a pivot from more waterfall, what do you call it, methodology.
Who uses waterfall now?
Yeah. Everyone's doing agile. But for those that aren't familiar with it, waterfall is where you do your requirements, then you do your design, and then you do your build, your test, and release. And that can take, for some projects, like a couple of years,
Yeah, it depends what you're doing.
And you go through that entire process, and that's when you finally start receiving feedback, right? What Agile does is it's more iterative. So, like, the high level, what it is you're doing releases, and you're doing smaller releases. Yep. So you're getting things.
MVPs.
Yeah, MVPs. You're getting stuff out there to the market so you can test for feedback.
Yep.
So like, you're not going completely in the wrong direction. Like, you might go somewhere and you're like, that's not working. Let's pivot this way.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to pivot when you're 2 months in than when you're 2 years in.
That's right. That's why I don't think, especially in today's world, e-commerce projects, and you got to be agile.
You have to be, and it's like, if sometimes 80% is good enough to.
And guess what? If somebody is halfway through, is already closing deals and making sales.
Right.
What are you going to do? Wait till the whole thing's perfect?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, they're learning faster. People are learning faster. So GTM is a learning game. It's not a perfection game. I love that. That's a big one, because we're all learning. And does everyone ever need a perfect website?
sometimes it feels like people do,
They
but
complain to you all the time?
yeah, and I mean, what happens sometimes is people, they'll delay a website because they're like, all right, I've got to get the right copy in there, and I'm
Yeah.
like, we can go back in and change the words. It's like, just get this thing out there.
Get it out there. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm making changes to my website like every
I mean,
day.
you don't want to put something out there that looks terrible, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you don't want it to embarrass your brand, but like when we've had people that have been, delayed websites for weeks because they don't have the correct copy for something.
Yeah.
Where it's like, all right, well, you know what? Don't put that page there. And that's where, like, again, agile concepts of like doing features and smaller releases where, all right, maybe you release the website without your store on there, and then we build the store and then we put it up there. Websites is a great example of this.
It is.
Because it's so modular and there's so many moving
Especially
parts.
now, right?
Yeah. I mean, like we're going through a website redesign for JVF.com.
Yeah. Oh,
But-
I can't wait to see that, man.
Yeah, but I mean, like
Or
the thing is you
JVF.com.
probably won't notice it because what we're doing is we do it in chunks. Like I did the header and the footer, and then I keep going in and doing different pages and have the team going in and do different things. But it's not like before where I worked for this company many years ago in telecast.com. We did this redesign. It took us, I think, like 6 months, and we did this big launch, and you went from one thing to something that was drastically different. It was drastically better.
Yeah.
It was huge, improved new technology. And sometimes you don't have the option to do that because there's a lot of different reasons why you have to do like a big bang release like that. But in some cases, it's like Amazon. They don't just go in and do a big,
God, no.
there's a redesign.
They probably do a release every day.
They do multiple releases every day. Their
yeah.
DevOps process is unbelievable.
Insane.
Yeah.
So so speed over polish. The whole concept with that is if you're a go-to-market strategy, you should have an agile approach to your product development
you
and
need to.
deployment and in production, right? Production support.
Yeah.
All the time today. You have to, or else you're gonna be out of business. Right? I mean, I know networking. I didn't really use agile, but I never perfected my events. I think the events have gotten better in the past 3 or 4 years than they were at the beginning, no doubt.
Right.
And same thing goes. You had an SEO book.
It's not I mean, like I have an ebook that I put together, and that's an example of something where I did kind of struggle with this. So I think it's probably a good topic to share with the Hotshots, because the thing about an ebook is it is a downloadable. So if you have some really bad mistakes in there, people are going to have those for eternity.
Forever.
So that you do have to be a little bit more particular with. But like, I focused a lot of times on the ebook that we just recently put together, and it's good. 47 pages long. Tells you how to fix your website in 5-minute chunks.
Oh wow. That's pretty
it's good. You can go to jvf.com and order it. Just search for actually go to fix.jvf.com and you'll see it.
Oh, I love it.
But here's the thing, right? Like, I didn't wait until I got the landing page perfect or the back end. There's a whole lot of back end processes, but it's like we released it in phases, and that's the way you do it. Otherwise,
we drink my tea in phases.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is that if I didn't do it that way, if I waited for everything to be perfect, instead of us releasing it a week ago, we would have released it 2-3 months ago. 2027. It would have been a 2028 project probably. But it goes back to that. Like, you don't need a full brand. You need a reason for someone to say yes. You don't have to get everything
perfect.
And
so that's speed. Picking the right target. If you pick the right target and you're fast, you're going to get the customer. Bottom line. So how about alignment winning deals?
Right. I mean, like, the best go-to-market teams, they just feel tight, right?
Those working together.
Yeah.
Sales, marketing, product.
Yeah.
Right. This is you're seeing us so much with sales and marketing. I do this to you all the time, right? They're merging. Right? In the middle is that go-to-market strategy person that's in the middle there. That has to lockstep the sales and marketing teams as well as the product teams.
And I think the key to that is like what you said, is like they're all moving in the same direction. That's what you see in a lot of organizations that are struggling, is that there's no coordination between them, between the sales, the marketing, and the product team.
Yeah. So a marketer, the chief marketing officer, and sales is chief revenue officer. Will they be a CGO? Chief go-to-market officer?
Well, I mean, that's kind of an interesting concept because maybe that person oversees the COO, the CMO, and the CRO. I always joke that I want to be the EIEIO.
EIEIO. Now we're dating ourselves here. So, what's some value notes for listeners? I mean, just when it comes to alignment with deals.
Well, I think the thing is that if your messaging says one thing and your product demo says another,
I've seen that a few times.
You lose a ton of trust. We've seen that. I think even last night we saw that where people were showing us one thing and then they describe what they do as something else.
Yeah.
I mean, how often do you see this, right? People are you ask them what they do, and then they give you their card. You go to their LinkedIn profile. I know you don't like the cards, but I still do them sometimes.
Yeah.
But you look at their LinkedIn profile, or they send you an email, and you look at their website, and it's completely different from what they told you.
That's fatal, I think.
It is.
When I meet people, for the folks that I met last night, connected with at Venture Cafe, I'm checking your LinkedIn profiles out today. I'll check your websites out. Your website, if you have one for a business that's exactly what I do.
Right.
If I'm seeing one thing here and another thing here, I'm like, this person's got to get it together a little bit, you know. So always check out, make sure everything's aligned out there, because what will happen is your marketing will end up attracting the wrong buyer, and sales waste time. That's a big alignment one right there.
Oh my goodness, that's been a nightmare for me recently too.
Yeah, if they're not aligned, they have to be on the same bus, the same rowboat, all that. So with that wind out there, it's pretty nasty, huh?
I know. There's if you're watching us, you can't see the tree over in the corner. In the behind the scenes video, you can. There's this
tree that's doing this
it's
stuff.
Like one of those evergreens, and it keeps waving back and forth.
Just don't fall in my new car. That's the worst thing.
Thankfully you're parked on the other side of the parking lot.
I know, exactly.
Sorry
to divert here. So another value, for a listener, what's that last one we got?
Well, sometimes if a product, if you're adding in features that are really for the wrong person, you can lose momentum that way. In fact, this was a good topic at Startup Boston Week. I actually sat in on a session back in...
shout out.
Yeah, shout out to Stephanie.
Stephanie Rulick. It was great chatting with you this morning. She's she's a rock star.
I know. I can't wait to meet her.
Yeah, she's great. So we'll see you soon, Steph.
But there was, there was a session where we talked a lot about that, how, people they'd add a feature because they thought it made sense. One of the presenters shared this. He was like, we added this feature because we thought it would be good. Yeah. And then, our customers didn't want it. In fact, it was like we had a different even market segment in mind when we were creating it. So that's a common thing that a lot of people miss out with on alignment.
So when to kind of nail it for alignment here, the mini framework alignment triangle. What is that? Triangle. I can't talk today.
The three
What's
things.
in this? Is this really tea?
It's been well, when we actually, you've had an incredibly busy week because you had 3 events this week. I only went to one with you last night, but the triangle, it's there's 3 things that you want to really focus on, which is who you serve, what problem you solve, and what outcome you deliver.
Big thing, outcome. Because that's, what your customer cares about the outcome.
Right.
So you're a go-to-market person. Always think about that outcome. If any point is off, what happens? The GTM strategy slows down.
It slows down.
You need all 3 of those to go. And then what's some pitfalls?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that we see a lot when you and I go to events is that we see a lot of people that they launch and they don't really have a clear problem statement. They don't know what, they're building something because it's fun to build or they want to build it, but it's not solving a problem.
Yeah, that's it. Doctor approach, right?
Yeah.
You're trying to serve everyone. That's the worst thing. Who's your target customer? Everybody. Yeah. Maybe Bezos. Everyone needs more. financial help.
So you're talking about Jeff, not Gary?
Every
time you say Bezos, I think you're thinking
Bezos.
I was thinking poor Gary. He's going to be so tired of that.
Oh, he's getting sick of it already. He gave me the look last night. If you call me Bezos one more time.
He's going to he's going to get caught up on all the episodes. He's going to be like, crap, how many times have they mentioned?
He's going to start charging
the bingo
us.
card we do with this.
This is another venture cafe, and where we meet founders over-engineering the product.
Yeah. Oh my goodness!
I think we saw a couple of examples of that last night.
We did. It was, I don't want to name names and embarrass anybody, but
no.
There were multiple people that I talked to last night or heard in some of the sessions we were in that were clearly they're building like a Ferrari when you just need a go-kart.
A go-kart. I'm glad you didn't say a Honda Accord. I would have killed you.
I was going to say it's like you need something basic, and it can be fun. It's like I go into Lowe's or Home Depot and I see all these tools and I'm like, ooh, what can I?
That's a dangerous store for me.
It is.
Every time, I need something. I need a space heater.
Something's on sale.
I end up buying like 5 things.
Yeah.
It's like, my wife, she goes to Macy's or Nordstrom's or wherever. I go to Lowe's or Home Depot. Yeah. It's the way it works. So another big, here's is for the AI folks out there. And we talked about this actually last episode, right?
Yeah.
Episode 31. About relying on AI to write strategy instead of supporting it.
Yeah.
This means the strategy should come from a human, and AI automates the mundane processes, right? So that's another. It kind of goes with go to market. Having AI go into Chat or Gemini or Perplexity, whatever you use, Claude, and just saying, write my strategy for me. Not a good idea.
It's funny because I was in a discussion within the last week where somebody was like, "Oh yeah, I had AI write my business plan." Like,
it's good for a template.
Yeah.
No, I don't see a problem. Say, write me a business plan, blah blah blah. But then you have to take it and humanize it.
You've got to humanize it. So one example that actually you and I were just talking about before we started recording this episode is a new feature that we're going to be launching very soon.
Very exciting stuff coming next week, but we can't say what yet.
Yeah, but we have a feature where AI is very useful in taking some notes that I created for this new feature that we're doing.
A new feature, I like it.
And turning it into something that's not notes. So we'll tell you more. Watch the live version next week because we're going to actually announce.
No, it's at the live. So if you're in the Metro West, Greater Boston area, you got to come to the event.
Yeah, and I think we already have about 50 people that are coming.
Out, so
we are in fact, I was going to post on LinkedIn that we're
nearly sold out.
We're nearly
Let's
sold
do
out.
it, man.
But just kind of along those lines, is just that, AI is a wonderful tool, but it's like the new sriracha, I call it, because it's like everything was like, Doritos sriracha flavored. Like, they were probably making sriracha flavored milk somewhere too. But
gross.
I know, gross. But
I don't drink milk, man.
But it's just like everything's now with AI, and people are just way too reliant on it now. I mean, But anyway, how about this one, which is confusing activity with traction?
Yeah, that's busy versus productive. Like, you want to be productive, not busy.
I mean,
that's like one of my mantras. Like, when you're working on something, especially your go-to-market strategy, is it being productive? Is it moving the train forward, or are you like on a New England icy road
Yeah. Or for you, Mr. Exercise, one of the analogies you'll like is it's like you're being on a treadmill, right? Like
that's why I don't do treadmills.
You're burning a lot of calories, but you're not really getting anywhere.
No, you got to run down the street,
lot, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I mean, that's a tough thing for people. How about one more?
One more. That's it. Right.
One more. Yeah.
Waiting for the perfect instead of shipping.
Yeah. And we talked a lot about that earlier in this episode. So
yeah, we talked about that already. So let's first steps for any listeners.
Yeah.
No matter where they are, what stage they're in, right?
Right.
So how about the early stage people?
So if you're early stage, here are 3 steps that you can take. The first is talk to 10 potential buyers, right?
Yeah. Talk to them. You know what? That feedback is probably
That's
those
gold.
first 10. Yeah, I would say gold without a doubt. Understanding that and then validating the problem, not the product.
Right.
Because do they really have this problem? You have 10 people. You want to at least get a C. You know what I mean by that? 7 to 10 say yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Then you're on the road. If
Yeah,
only
you
like
know
one
that
or two people, if you're failing, you get an F. That's probably you might have to rethink what your product is, right? What's another one for an early stage?
And this is right up my
Yeah, he's the man right here.
which is building a simple landing page with a clear promise. So
Yeah, but that's you have that goes back. You don't have to have a perfect website. Get a
Yeah.
landing page going.
It doesn't have to be
One pager.
Doesn't have to be perfect. You can go in and edit it later.
Yep.
But get that up there so that it's collecting something and collecting, data, information, signing people up to your mailing list, whatever it is. Having people request more information on what you're doing. Fill out a form, especially if you're early stage. Have them fill out a form that shows what their intent and their interest is.
Data is knowledge.
It is.
No doubt. How about mid stage? All right, so now you're moving into the mid stage. You're past all that early stage stuff. You
Right.
nailed it, right? You got your product. You got your buyer persona. What's next?
Well, one thing that you can do is you can tighten your positioning.
No doubt, because then you don't want to go on. You don't want to be like whoosh, all over the place, right?
I know it's kind of like what do they call it? It's like you're just like dropping a huge bomb or throwing spaghetti at the wall. That's the common way of saying it. How about picking one ideal customer profile, the ICP?
Yeah, ICP
and, really
and GTM are lockstep.
Yeah.
Understand your ideal customer profile is no doubt. Once you got that locked, you're good. Because then you could go deep, right?
Right.
And then build a nice repeatable sales motion from there.
Yeah.
And when you're mid stage, that's all you need to do. We're not giving all the answers. There's more answers to this, I'm sure.
But I mean, these are things that you can do if you're there.
Yeah. Yep.
So
and then now you're established. You're making money now. This is when revenue's coming in, right?
Yeah.
You're past mid stage. I would say you're almost at that enterprise level if you're growing your company that big.
Yeah.
What's three things?
Well, the first thing is to really audit your funnel and figure out what's converting and what isn't.
Yep. Yeah, no doubt. And identifying where deals stall. It's okay to fail.
Yeah.
And we talk about this in past episodes about you have to fail all the time. So you're going to lose deals. Don't cry over it. Sweep it off, learn, move on, right? And double down on what else working. That's the third. I'm sorry I sold that one from you, but
that's good. But yeah, I mean, if it's working well, just keep doing it.
Exactly. Yep. And then write down the problem you solve in one sentence. Because you know what? When you're at an event, you don't want to give that 10-minute pitch. You want to give that 10-second problem statement.
Right. I mean, in one of the sessions we were in last night, someone mentioned that you should be able to, because somebody was talking and saying, yeah, I need about 5 minutes to describe what my product is.
I'm gonna, if that was the case, I'm gonna go get some kombucha at the bar. Sorry, I'm not gonna listen to you for 5.
Your favorite stuff there. Yeah, kombucha.
You're not ready to go to market.
Yeah, you're
Simple
not.
statement. If you're not able to write a problem statement, one sentence to say what you solve, you're not GTM ready.
You're not.
Sorry to be mean here. It's not about being loud. Yeah, it's being ready. It's
being clear.
Being clear. Clarity creates momentum, which really wins, right? So that's like in a nutshell. That's all what go-to-market is. Now you're all going to be experts out there, right? We got some experts out there.
I think it's going to be good. I'm curious to see from the comments how, we want to hear your stories. Share your stories with us. We'll be doing more live events. We'll be doing more interactive sessions and things like that coming forward. So keep an eye out on our social. Keep an eye out on the website. Keep listening.
Yep. And also get back to this episode. If you have had some GTM go-to-market strategies that's worked, love to hear from you.
Yeah.
We're a community. That's the goal of Market Like a Hotshot, is to build this community for marketers and entrepreneurs, small business, that's a big word. But basically, if you are a founder, If you're just a professional that just wants to learn, you're part of our market, like a Hotshot community. And, I tell you, these cold days, you got to get some more hoodies out there. Hotshot.com. Get yourself a hoodie these cold Massachusetts winters. And, watch us on Spotify, Amazon, Apple.
iHeartRadio.
YouTube.
But now you can watch us right on Spotify.
So you can see us on TV. And also, what's this? The Attraction rock song and...
Yeah, we'll have to. Those are coming. We're going to do the world premieres.
World premieres.
Well, we did last episode. We did the world premiere of yours.
Mine the Social Connector song.
Yeah, we're having a lot of fun with these things. It's a new service that we're able to offer people, and I'll be talking about it next week. Next week, it's like, but we're going to release this on Monday, and then the event's going to be the following day.
That's it. We're busy next week, so love to see you all. Jeff DeSocio, James Feudo. We are here at marketlikeahotshot.com. Have a great day. We'll see you soon.